How's Isaru?
Oh.
The Youth League discovered this place, you know. It's called the Den of Woe. It was sealed around the time of Operation Machean.
Ah.
And Isaru?
But, the seal can supposedly be broken with the right combination of spheres.
Press it more, Yuna. It doesn't matter if it's awkward. Go.
I'm afraid this place is off limits until we can conduct a more thorough investigation. So, I'll, have to ask you to leave. I'm sorry.
Weird. Something to do with Operation Machean. Well, I did tell you guys while we were playing Final Fantasy X that there was a whole other story going on right beneath our noses. Quite literally, yeah, you see, we're under where we were stood. Let's talk to Mareda here again. See what he has to say.
This place is off limits. Please leave.
Dude, you don't tell me what to do. I saved the world. I can literally go wherever I want and you cannot stop me. Do you understand? Yes, good. Alright, so there we go. We have now begun our long journey on the Crimson Sphere hunt. 9 spheres, 1 door, 1 secret. Okay. Alright, now we're just going to go back up. I will cut this, guys, because of the fog. It's just going to be kind of lame. Until where we hop down, and we'll continue with the regular mission, which is finishing Fiend Frenzy Bonanza. We'll cast water this time. Also, it's funny. As strong as the Carnival Can is, let's be real here for a second. It's much better to send enemies to sleep where they can never be woken up like this than to actually double your party's health, even though it's very strong. Now, boss fights where maybe they're immune? Yeah, we'll see.
You're fired!
There you saw Pain learned an ability called Shellcracker. I appreciate I sort of lied to you guys. I said I was going to cut all of this. And I'm just showing it all. But Pain just learned an ability here called Shellcracker. Let's have a look at what she's got available, because it is kind of weird, right? Just scan and attack? Well, let's have a look. Gun Mage. So, she has attack. She has blue bullets. Attack with bullets containing fiend skills. She has scan. She just finished Shellcracker. This says deal quadruple damage to helms. Wow, that's a powerful attack. And you can guess the theme of many of these. Anti-aircraft. Deal quadruple damage to birds and wasps. Quadruple damage to lupines, which I guess there's a fair few here, so we'll equip that. Silver bullet. You've got flans here, reptiles, and machina from Dismantler. Here you've got Fiend Hunter level 2, which cuts the time required by Fiend Hunter by 40%. So what this means, if you wanted to use Shellcracker, the ability, it would have a cast time on it. You unlock Fiend Hunter level 2, and that cast time drops down massively, right? There's also Scan level 2, and it says allows user to rotate targets when casting Scan. So this will actually reveal more information to you with Scan. Basically, it just lets you spin the models in a kind of an interesting way. And then there's a Scan level 3 later as well, which is something I very much strive to get. So that's kind of the idea here. It still doesn't answer what abilities they learn beyond just quadruple damage to various fiend types. What is this blue bullet stuff? Well, those are abilities we learn from fiends, just like Kamari's Ronso Rage in the previous game. And that is where some of the most powerful gun mage support is. So you can have this beastly character that does 4 times damage to enemies and has immense protective skills like White Wind and Mighty Guard. 2 abilities, might I add, you can get both in Chapter 1. However, it's a little bit more complicated to get those than it was in the previous game. And right now, we don't really have the capacity to do it. So that's kind of the gun mage explanation for you. And I should have spread stuff out a bit more, I guess.
Grease lightning! I like mine on the rocks.
Oh yeah, so you just heard some Riku dialogue there. I like mine on the rocks. Black mage only when she's casting Blizzard. And there's a lot of that stuff. You'd be surprised. It's almost a shame, like, I don't know. I mean, the game is huge. So, in theory, there is plenty of opportunity to see all of the unique outfits and animations. But I feel like because we're maxing Riku as a black mage, it's almost like we don't want to max Pain as a black mage. And so then we don't hear Pain's dialogue, and we don't see Pain's battle poses, and we don't see Pain's just flat-out outfit, you know? In fact, maybe I'll do a sphere change in the next battle and show you guys what some of the variants are. That might be fun. Making some pretty solid progress here. You'll notice that the Fiend rate is incredibly low if you don't move in the fog. There's every bit of chance, by the way, that the areas below us, I missed a couple of chests earlier. There's nothing too fantastic in them, though. Alright, here we go. So let's do some sphere changes. Yuna here, I'm going to swap over to Black Mage. And we'll get her little animation. Pain, I'm going to swap to Black Mage as well. Riku, I'm going to swap to Gun Mage.
A storm of magic rages within me.
Here we go. So here's Pain's animation. Now, the more you swap, at first these can seem really annoying. You just saw the haste easier effect on her there, I think. These can seem really annoying. It's like, oh, they slow down the battle so much. But the more you swap, you only have to witness this once, and then it will never play again, and literally the sphere changes instant. It's, I want to become this, boom, she becomes that straight away.
Time to teach you a thing or two about black magic.
But yeah, this is our triple Black Mage setup right now, just before Riku leaves. You'll notice Riku there was wielding one of Yuna's staves from the previous game. Her gun mage outfit's a little bit uninspired, I gotta say. That there is like the Valor Force summon animation though, pretty cool.
Use one of your abilities. I dare you, because I'll use it right back.
And the Blizzard spam prevails.
Easy as pie.
It's funny, the first Final Fantasy game, you would have 4 characters and you could pick classes for them. And people do challenges where they say, right, I'm going to go pure Black Mage or something. And it's funny that you could actually do that in 10.2 as well. You could just say, right, I want to be a pure warrior setup. I want to do pure this, pure that, and see how far you get. Kind of an interesting idea. We'll put Pain back here to Gun Mage 2. So there we go. There was actually a class in Final Fantasy 1 as well, and I think a couple of the other ones, called a Red Mage. Now, a Red Mage was basically a white and a black mage combined. So they had the heal utility of a white mage and the offensive capabilities of a black mage. The trade-off, though, was they could never learn the highest tier black or white magics. So you could like get a lot of versatility, but you couldn't quite hit the very, very end game stuff. There is no, and I've always liked Red Mage. Red Mage has always been one of my favorite classes in at least in Final Fantasy 1. It was amazing. I used to run 2 Red Mages in my party. But there is no Red Mage like Dress Sphere in this game. You've got black, you've got white, you've got gun, and those are really the 3 core mages. Here we go. So Riku's already learned one of her new abilities. This is Fira, so a higher damage version of fire. We're going to keep spamming Blizzard though.
Let's get moving.
Battles do take slightly longer. I mean, it's very different to playing Warrior and just holding down the X button. But I don't know. I think it's worth it because it's more entertaining. All right. Anyway, there we go. That's the mission pretty much done. No problems there. We actually skip a whole scene here as well. Another screen. If you remember, there was a screen we got an Albed Primer from and stuff before in the old game. But this time we just move right to the very top. And you can even see on the top left as well, which is kind of weird on the minimap, you can see that old screen still exists in the game's engine. It's down there. It's just you skip the whole thing now. They do it quite subtly in 10.2, and only where it's necessary, but yeah.
Oh, wow. Lady Yuna. It's me, Elma. It's been so long. Wow, you've really changed.
Hey, Elma.
How are you?
Never better. Now that I'm in the Youth League, I've always got something to do. Hey, you made it past all the fiends. Nice work. Go on, step aside.
Right away, Captain.
So lots of our old friends are in the Youth League.
Wow, look at you.
Not bad, huh?
Hey, and she's got some control over these people. There we go, mission complete. And with the optional stuff of the Crimson Sphere 9 acquired, if we had been silly enough not to follow the LeBlanc Syndicate, we would now have missed that. We got a glass buckle for that, which I'll check out in a second, and a Heart of Flame garment grid. Here we go, as you can see, and in the background, well, there you go, you can see actually that's Ifrit's Faith statue right there. The gear we got, I believe it was this glass buckle, right? This guards against 2 statuses at once. So far in the game, we've seen stuff that, you know, guards against sleep, guards against this, guards against that. Now we get double. You see poison and sleep. And in fact, you'll notice the icon to the left of glass buckle is now a silver ring instead of a bronze ring, which is what we've had previously. So this gives you, at a glance, the understanding of whether something's really good gear, whether it's common gear, or what. So here we can see we've got bronze stuff through the LP so far, and now this silver one. You'll notice above it, there's actually something called the Enterprise, which is a gold ring. That's an item I carried over from my previous playthrough of the game. I'll explain later. But yeah. So that's that. I'm not going to equip the Ifrit thing. Elma says, the Youth League headquarters is at the top of this lift. Commander Lucille's there, good as ever. Oh, awesome. She says, they're planning some big mission. Oh, we heard this before. Right now, it's a bunch of secret cloak and dagger type stuff. Doesn't sound good. Have you met Maven Nuge just yet? He's cool, smart, everything you could ask for. And finally, Elma says, Lady, you know that look is so you. Definitely a change for the better. Okay, sure. Don't ram that down my throat. So yeah, then she'll start repeating. These guys say, please proceed. And this kid says, please proceed. No, he says, you sure showed those fiends. Nice work. Do be aware that just down here is some more gear. And this is the favorite outfit accessory. It sounds much better than it actually is, I'll tell you that straight away. But if we have a look here, the favorite outfit guards against Itchy. So this is one of those things that defends us against just one status effect. What is Itchy? Itchy is a new status in Final Fantasy X-2. And what it does is it completely incapacitates you. The girl literally just stands there scratching herself constantly, unable to take any action. The way you stop being Itchy is to change dress spheres in the middle of battle. Now, I, as a kid, never understood that, and whenever an enemy put Itchy on me, I thought it was the worst thing. I thought it was a fate worse than death. I had no idea how to change it, just because I hated sphere changing when I was younger, just because of the long animations, and I never realized you could turn them off. So Itchy was like the worst status for me. I hated it. And now, obviously, I come back to the game, and I'm like, oh, well, that's simple. It's just asking you to class change. That doesn't even cost a turn. Why don't you do it, you know? So, that's the deal with Itchy, one of the new stats. And we already have defense for it. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's only chapter 1. Nothing's, you know, too brutal just yet. So instead of going to the airship, we'll come back up here. There's this little screen here. Nothing to do. Again, that's like a candidate for cutting out, but whatever. I think they had to leave it there because they wanted the continuity of seeing the lift come to the very top. And now we get to check out the Youth League headquarters stationed where the Crusaders, you know, launched Operation Machean.
This is Youth League headquarters. The Youth League was formed a year ago by people who opposed New Yevon. Its members claim that in the hands of New Yevon, Spira would only repeat its past mistakes. Their leader is a former Crusader named Nuge. Apparently he earned quite a reputation among the Crusaders.
As an unkillable guy, yeah. And these kids come to play with us. So yeah, pretty fancy looking place, pretty new. And yeah, this is their headquarters. It's kind of a weird place to have a headquarters, I must say, especially given the context of Operation Machean and how the Crusaders were excommunicated over it, but maybe that's a symbolic gesture right there. Anyway, as we started with this video, do remember that they're building a new headquarters in Killiker, and that's what we looked at the start of the video. Over here, there is a very well-hidden little path with some extra loot for us. Can't remember what's in this. Oh yeah, a garment grid, the Restless Sleep garment grid. So let's check this one out, all these garment grids. So it's this one here. This is a grid imbued with the power of sleep and poison. You'll remember we got the Still of the Night one in Beacon Out a couple of episodes ago, which was Silence and Blind. It's the same thing here. You'll notice it's just the same shape. It's just a new variant that gives us sleep and bio. Bio is actually pretty cool. We haven't found any way to get bio just yet in the game, and that will allow us to poison enemies. If you remember from the previous game, poison was very potent against bosses. It's still a pretty strong thing in this game. If I can swing my sword 500 times, I'll be just like the big guys. This sure is heavy. You aren't Lady Una, are you? Nah, that's impossible. Oh, well, you'd be surprised. I wonder if you got... I have never met a famous person IRL. How shouted does that make me sound? I'm going to save. But I wonder how many... Because it must have happened how many times I actually have met a famous person and I just didn't know it. You know, it's got to have happened somewhere. Moving on, you know, but the idea of going up to a famous person, say, hey, are you that famous guy? No, and then walking off before they can respond is pretty funny. The Youth League has many enemies, we can't let our guard down. Right now, we're in the middle of planning our next operation. Outsiders like you shouldn't be loitering. Do you know what? Screw you. Maven Nuge is busy making preparations for our fight against New Yevon. Oh, no, not a fight. Oh, this is looking pretty transparent, isn't it, right now, guys? Okay. Well, we'll head over to this tent. I don't often make references to Guild Wars when I'm doing, like, other games, for no particular reason, but this area here, I've got to say, there was a place in Guild Wars 1, in Factions, I can't actually remember the name of the map anymore, but there was a giant guild hall of these, like, they were basically, like, the third faction to the Luxons and Kurziks, and you would, as you walked up to that guild hall, it looked just like this area here. I've always been struck by that similarity. Another kid here says, this should... Oh, wait, no, it's the same one. Take that and that! Look out, I almost hit you! I'm trying to train, out of my way! No, you shouldn't be raising brutes like this. Our officers are currently in conference within. Please do not disturb them. Ah, they're in conference. Can't be good, right? And this person says the Crusaders disbanded once the calm came, so I joined the Youth League. So these are just ex-Crusaders, old friends, and check it out, here is Lucille.
It's been too long, Lady Yuna. I am Lucille, commander of the Youth League forces.
It's good to see you.
Hiya! I am glad to find you well. As you can see, I have joined the Youth League to aid in the fight for a new Spira. I consider it my duty. Maven Nuge, our leader, has been hoping for an audience with my lady for some time. Unfortunately, he is planning a mission of great import and will be occupied well into the night.
Aww.
I am terribly sorry, but I must ask that you return another day.
Oh, it's no trouble.
My apologies.
The Youth League's looking for spheres too, right?
Yes, knowledge of the past is the key to the future, so says the Maven. It is with these words in mind that we seek the spheres of yore. The mission we are planning also revolves around a sphere, but I am sorry. I had best say no more. It is not a matter to be discussed openly.
No, I suppose not.
My apologies.
Oh, what is wrong with you, Pain? You don't like anyone. Interesting there, though. At least Pain wasn't turned away this time. Interesting, then, that at first it just sounded like they were trying to pick a fight, but now we know it's over a sphere.
There sure do seem to be a lot of weirdos around here.
The Youth League is a motley bunch. Some members certainly have, questionable pasts.
I haven't seen anyone weird.
Just the other day, a very valuable sphere was stolen almost as soon as we discovered it.
The Thief League?
No, few here would go that far. Most of us are very devoted. We work hard with Maven Nuge towards our goal of building a new Spira. But the Maven insists that none be turned away, and so the occasional bad seed does slip through. Unfortunately. But I can think of nothing more heartening than were the Lady Yuna to join our cause. That would do the League much good.
Maybe. It's weird. I'm going to show my ignorance here. I've never really heard the terms Praetor. You know, you've got Praetor Barreleye of New Yevon, or Maven Nuge of the Youth League, like, ever before. I'm not even really sure what those official titles derive from. Kind of interesting words, though, anyway. So the kids are running around. Yeah, I guess there's some weirdos. Commander Lucille is Maven Nuge's right hand. She commands all of the League's troops. The Maven is something of a lone wolf. Running an organization like this isn't really up his alley. Okay, and he says that. All right, so what we're going to do now, maybe sit back, maybe just take a breather. Because now we're going to talk to an old friend who will talk to us for a long time. This dude here is Machean. Do you see him there? Machean is hanging out with the Youth League, so it would seem. This, if you guys are unfamiliar, was a scholar, a historian from the previous game who used to talk at great length about the history of the world. He was an awesome guy. Whenever we talk to him, you kind of have the opportunity to either listen to his rambling or just like cut through it and be like, I don't care, I want to go fight stuff, right? We obviously always listen to his rambling. We're going to do it again here, but the first time you see him in X-2, they really crank it up to 10. They really try and encourage you, the player, to skip through what he's talking about, but don't. If you want 100% completion, let the man talk. Now, I would have done this anyway, but it's going to keep throwing prompts up for us to say, oh no, shut up, you know, stop talking. I'm just going to sit back, we're going to listen to his story, and we're going to enjoy it, okay? And we're not going to cut him off. Let's do it. Hey.
Why, Lady Yuna, I believe it's been fully 2 years. This calls for a celebration. Perhaps you'd like to hear a story.
Alright, they even give you the default option as anything but that. It's ridiculous. You're going to say, by all means, and enjoy. He did genuinely just come out with some great stuff about the founding of these factions, about what's been going on in 2 years, and so on.
These past 2 years have been truly tumultuous. With sin defeated and Yevon's terrible deception exposed for all to see, it is safe to say Spira was in a state of upheaval. But it is precisely times such as these that often inspire the greatest good. For you see, out of the chaos arose a desire to forge Spira anew. And from this noble desire was born a search for truth, championed by people called the Seekers. The Seekers sought out and attempted to set right Spira's history, long concealed and warped by the temples. They looked for lessons in that history, lessons to lead Spira into a new age. The Seekers scoured Spira for ancient spheres hidden in nooks and crannies over the ages. They studied the images recorded in those spheres, for they hoped to find within clues to the true nature of Spira's past. Over time, the search for spheres grew quite popular. Some even pursued it as a profession. They, of course, are the sphere hunters, the good, the bad, and the ugly. To be sure, the majority are interested only in the excitement and adventure of it all. But it is doubtful they comprehend the gravity of the search for truth. Very doubtful.
Doubtful?
Doubtful indeed.
I love the way Riku just sits down now.
The founder of the Seekers was a man by the name of Tremor. Before the fall of sin, Tremor had been a priest in the orders of the Yevon. With the Seekers, he had the perfect means of revitalizing Spira, or so one would have thought. But then, just one short year ago, Tremor founded yet another organization, the New Yevon Party. It was all quite sudden. He took the many spheres collected by the Seekers and hoarded them all to himself. Naturally, this angered those who had hoped to use the spheres as a key to unlock Spira's past. What awoke in Tremor's heart that drove him to do this, none can say, save Tremor himself. I should very much like to ask him. But sadly, he has vanished. New Yevon would not release its spheres, yet surprisingly, a great number of people rallied to its cause. Their motto was, one thing at a time. It worked to great effect. It played on people's fears of the rapid changes sweeping over Spira. It gave them something to cling to. But there were others who still harbored ill will toward the name of Yevon. And the man who united them? It was none other than Nuge, the Maven, that is, leader of the Youth League. Nuge was a member of the Crusaders. He is a powerful man, once renowned for his fearlessness in battle. His interest in history led him to devote himself to the Seekers' cause. With them, he worked to collect spheres, but in the end, New Yevon would share them with no one. Repulsed by what New Yevon had done, Nuge gathered like-minded people and formed the Youth League. Drawing its support mainly from Spira's younger generation, the League soon matched New Yevon in size. As the organization grew, so did the responsibilities of its leader. I came here hoping to speak with Maven Nuge, but he is busy in meetings, and I was turned away at the door.
Ah, just like us.
Pity. Looking at all the young people gathered here to take part in the League's endeavors, I must say, I'm quite envious. So much energy, so much time.
Don't interrupt him.
While I, on the other hand, have grown weary with the passing of many years. I travel Spira, gathering knowledge, only to have it slip my mind a moment later.
Oh, you rambler.
Just between you and me, I don't even remember how old I am. Oh, might I ask you one small favor?
What is it?
I'd like to shake your hand, if it's not too much trouble. To touch just once the hand that defeated sin and saved all Spira.
Ah, well, here we go. So by letting him talk the entire time, ultimately he will ask, hey, can I shake your hand? You know, this guy, he's an old guy. He spent most of his life in a world with sin, and we defeated sin. It makes sense that he wants to shake our hand. Now, the only people who are ever going to get this option are probably the people inclined to, you know, like what he's saying or are going for 100% and know specifically they need to let him talk, right? So who would ever say, I don't think so? No one, really, right? But there is a thing at the end of the game. We're going to say, of course, and shake his hand. By saying yes to shake his hand, you guessed it, at the end of the game, we unlock like a bonus cutscene and extra stuff for 100% completion. But if you actually refuse to shake his hand, you don't get the completion or any of that, so you miss out. But you do get an alternate scene at the end of the game. And I ask myself, who would ever see that alternate scene? Who's going to do all this, talk to him for so long, and then tell him no to shaking his hand, right? It's going to be very rare. So that's going to be one of the things we'll show off in the LP, the alternate scene for not shaking his hands. Of course, right now, though, I'll do that on another save file. Of course, right now, I'll shake your hand.
Oh, thank you. Now this old scholar can go in peace.
Don't say that.
Your hand.
Is something wrong?
No, it is nothing. Lady Yuna, you have my thanks.
Huh, so something stirred in him there, it seems. And so there you go, you sat there. You can actually repeat it if you want. We're not going to do that. Interesting story, though. The main thing to take away, okay, was a bit more elaboration on this Tremor fellow. After Sin was defeated, there were these people called the Seekers that Tremor founded. The Seekers would travel around the world looking for spheres, you know, the YouTube videos buried in the ground, looking into the past. Then suddenly one day, he took all of the spheres, hid away. Why might he have done that? And founded New Yevon. Then he passed New Yevon leadership onto someone else and disappeared completely. Weird, right? So anyway, that's pretty much everything now for our first trip to Mushroom Rock. You'd be surprised how much stuff there is to do here. Make sure just obviously that you finish the mission, you've got the Crimson Sphere. Speaking of spheres and all that kind of stuff, what do you guys say we actually go look at it? Let's do some digging into the past of our own now. There's so much to do there. I'm really like twitchy. I'm nervous that we've missed something, but I don't think we have. So let's go have a chat with Shinra.
I know everything.
Who says, I know everything. Hey Shinra, how's it going? We haven't talked to you for a while. It's weird when you do all the side quests in the game, like, damn, we haven't spoken to Brother or Buddy or Shinra for so long. It's very different to when you just blast through the game. So now we're actually going to go to Treasure Spheres. This is a menu I haven't shown you guys yet. And these are the fruits that we get as we play through as Sphere Hunters. So we got Journey Start. This sphere set Yuna on her path as a Sphere Hunter. This is the sphere we saw in Eternal Calm. This is the sphere that we talked to Lulu about. This is the sphere that has someone who looks a lot like us, or Tidus, I guess. We're not actually Tidus. Then there's Zanakin's Prime. This was the weird one of Zanakin we saw that I thought was kind of fascinating, but the girls thought was a dud. This one, Treasure Map. This is the one found in a cave on Besaid Island. Perhaps this sphere was recorded by the same person who hid the treasure chest shown. We can look at that again in a later chapter to try and figure out how we might get to that chest. And now down here we've got Crimson Report 1. So this is the Crimson Sphere 9. It's a report on something that went down once, I guess. Don't forget that Ormi and Logos had this, so they have watched it themselves. Whatever the contents of this is, they know about it. So the date and details of this recording are unknown.
What a mess. Let's see. Total survivors of the final Crimson Squad selection. Exercise, 0. Zilch, and Zippo. Job done.
You pinhead, did you even count?
Oh my god, whoa, was that Logos and Ormi there? Who was that? Ah, so the plot thickens. What the hell went down at the Mushroom Rock during Operation Machean? What's the significance of that door? The spheres? Tremor? We'll speak to Ariku here. She says, I bet the Youth League's mission of great import is a sphere hunt. Yeah, what are the Youth League doing? It feels like we're getting somewhere. Payne says, leading the Youth League is like trying to harness a pack of wolves. Let's talk to Buddy again. And that would have been a great place to end the video. It would have been like, yeah, we'll cut there, we'll linger on that, make people think about it. We're not done, though. We're going back to Mushroom Rock Road. Why? Who knows? It says mission complete. Buddy says that Maven Nuge's Youth League has established their headquarters on the site of Operation Machean. We're going to go down there. And There's a certain someone who, after you finish the mission, will appear here. What I'm about to do, you can delay until a little bit later on in the timeline. I'm going to do it right now, though. Oh, look, here's Klasko, shaking his head. Dude, you just don't seem happy. What did we talk about?
That's it. Every time I try something new, I screw it up. I just don't know what I want to do with my life. I don't know where I belong. I've spent my whole life drifting from one failure to the next. But I can't keep doing this forever. I know that there's a place for everyone in this world, even someone as sad and pathetic as me. Lady Yuna, I want to find my place. Please, allow me to ride on your airship.
Well, he was quite forward there. Again, someone calling themselves sad and pathetic. You shouldn't do that. The more the merrier, or sorry, loser. Wow, I have never actually used that option. I don't know how he responds. This may seem like such a small thing. You know, you have to come back to Mushroom Rock. You had no reason to come here. He's just randomly stood here. This will ultimately unlock so much more of the world. It's unreal. There are multiple dungeons and encounters and things that are reliant on you bringing Klasko on your airship to find his true calling. The more the merrier.
Oh, thank you so much. I'll find my true calling. You'll see.
Yeah, we shall see. So there you go, he runs off. It would be kind of cool if you could actually see him go and interact with the sphere. That's the last little thing we had to do, though, there. If we board the airship, we will find Klasko down in the cabin. And here, it looks like Awaka and Barkeep have got another friend. So Awaka's here. We'll go up to the beds. I'm pretty sure is where he stood. Hey, Klasko, how's it going?
Why won't the room stop shaking?
Dude. You're in an airship. You'll get your sea legs, your air legs, soon enough. So he doesn't really have much to say to us, it seems. Hopefully this will be worth it. But there you go, guys. Thanks very much for watching. A bit of a longer episode today, but that's everything I wanted to do. So hope you enjoyed. Tomorrow we will be finishing up some stuff and heading to the Xanakin ruins. Let's get this show on the road. See you next time, everyone.